Good afternoon, this is Robin Bieber on the European Midday Roundup and Good Morning America chart talk on the 27th of May at 12 o'clock in the morning London time. The chart you're looking at in front of you is July Brent 60-minute, and you can see a little bit of a struggle going on. It's not clear what the next 2 or 3 hours will bring. It could ebb and flow around the current action quite easily. And if we look at RBOB, here's the day's action in the shaded area. It's looking as if it's struggling a bit, but then let's just remind ourselves of the highlights for this morning. And the highlights are the moving average action, which needs to be watched very carefully. WTI is the only contract above its 5-day moving average. Below the 5 and plus the 8, or above the 8 at Brent and Heat, but RBOB has slipped below the 5 and 8, and if that's an early warning signal of things to come, we should be very careful indeed. I stressed this morning how important it was to watch the 8-day moving average today if the 5s are taken, and it is. The 8s are the key. We've also got some negative stochastics on Brent and RBOB's displaying bearish divergence, which isn't a great sign, and structure is struggling, particularly at the front on Brent. But if we look at a daily chart of RBOB, here are the clues. Through the 5 and below the 8. The 8-day moving average comes in at 103.03. We're printing 102.50. And we've got some bearish divergence on the stochastic. Now, were it to rally out of sight over the 5-day moving average at 104.02 and re-establish the upside momentum, this would be fine. The stochastic would be back positive and there would be nothing to worry about. If it closes below the 8 today, 103.03, and the stochastic is bearish, one should be very careful because this could be one of RBOB's early warning signals. Now, if we just look at how the rest of the contracts are faring, WTI is just above the 5-day at 33.80, and so long as it stays that way, nothing wrong with this contract at the moment, though it is struggling when it gets close to 34.72, its erstwhile target and resistance. A move and close over the 5-day keeps it stable. Below the 5-day at 33.80 suggests a move down slingshot fashion to the 8-day at 32.77. So watch the 5-day in particular on WTI very carefully. On Brent, it's holding around the 5-day moving average right at this moment. It's just below the 5-day by about 3 cents or something, but it's holding the 5-day at 35.47. No downside unless it's below the 8-day at 35.47. This is a key support for it. It's held pretty much held 3 out of the last 3 days, so it's an important support today at 35.47. Below there, and we'd expect a slingshot move of about $2 or so lower to the 13 days. So watch the 8-day very carefully. The stochastic has just moved negative, but the short-term moving averages, the 5 and 8s in particular, outrank the stochastic in terms of technical importance. Heating oil is holding the 8-day moving average well at 97.97, no downside while that holds, and it's just below the 5-day at 98.74. It's got a stochastic that is threatening to go negative, but it hasn't. But were it to rally over the 5-day, it would remain positive. Were it to close below the 8-day, 97.97, it would probably turn negative. And gas oil is right at the right-hand chart, is right at the 5 and 8s, coming in around 296, 295.50. It's holding above there just, and only a move and close below 295.50 would put some downside pressure on this contract. So the message is simple. RBOB is flagging a bit, giving a couple of potential early warning signals which are not positive, negative, bearish divergence on the stochastic below the 5 and 8, but it's early days yet today. There's a lot more to the day to pay attention to, and RBOB could easily pull back. But were it to close tonight below the 8-day and its stochastic stay which would happen, its stochastic stay negative and with bearish divergence, that would be a worry. Offset by WTI, for example, being above the 5-day. So a little bit of either or this morning. Now, if we look at structure, WTI structure doing quite well. July org on the right side here. July org holding quite well, still above the 5-day at -42, and org SEP well above the short terms, -40, well, not that much, -46 the 5-day, holding the short term moving averages, whereas Brent structure is looking a little toppy. It's below, just below the 8-day moving average at -45 of a print of 46 on org SEP, and the SEPOC is just holding the structure, but it's got negative stochastic, so I'm expecting there to be a little bit of pressure on front structure Brent this afternoon. DEC TI holding the critical 287 level. We're print at 285. Whilst it's over 287, it's okay, although flagging a bit and could easily come under pressure later. And the red deck Brent has already made its move from the 5 and 8 to the 13 at minus 394 with a low at 393. No downside unless it moves and closes below 394. Now, its negative stochastic suggests it hasn't finished with testing the 13-day moving average. That's all for today, folks. Good luck, good trading, and bon appetit.